Thank you very much, Chairman Sir, and also my very, very learned panelists, co-panelists. As the Chairman mentioned that, that I am the only technocrat in here, but it is probably, that there are many more technocrats in the audience, and also some of my fellow panelists are also probably from the technical departments. Well, although I am a technocrat, I work in the area of the social sector as far as the ICT is concerned, which includes the education, social justice and empowerment, women and child development services, etc. Our job as a part of the National Informatics Center is to provide the ICT solutions or the e-governance solution as it is being called today to the various government departments, including our chairman, the Rajya Sabha Secretariat. Well, as far as the education goes, we are trying to talk of the inclusiveness. Inclusiveness means so, exactly the topic goes, the higher education or the universities. If we look at the inclusion that we have, as far as the school education or other things are concerned, the government has certain definite policies. Like we have the Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, Sakshar Bharat, EFA goals, education for all goals, and that is where that we have very, very definite policies and try to include everybody, that every child should get into the school system and start learning it. Similarly, the Sakshar Bharat, that all the non-literate population of this country, they must be included and they must know how to read and write. The 3 R's, along with it, the full, the human development. Basically, why that we would like to impart education and to all is to that make them as a good citizen. It should impart them knowledge and it should impart them the skills to each individuals so that they can participate in the development of the country per se, decision making for their own and for the community, and also in the democratic process. If they are more knowledgeable, they can probably that be a better part in the democratic process of our country. But if we look into it, that that there are certain issues which keep coming, those who are to be included is about that what inclusion is. It is about transforming the system. This transformation of the system, may it be education, may it be social justice, may it be the other services of the government, to include for everyone, accessible for everyone, and for that not only the social exclusion, but also the differently abled population, they must also get included in the accessibility of the services, accessibility of the space. We find that the inclusion is not there in very buildings. It is very difficult that if you have certain chairs and certain, even the walkways, the pathways, the footpaths is not inclusive in our country. In many places bus stops are not, railway stations are not. It's very, very difficult. So this is basically come to the national policy issues, not only the national but also the state policy issues, to include everyone. It should be that the accessible for all the services whatever being put by the government, they should be accessible for all. And also there is a lack of awareness amongst the population. So we not only that have to that have the policy, we have to make the people aware of that particular policy, what is accessible and how it can access it, what are their various rights. If we look into that exclusiveness, so we have the social exclusion, there are higher education, although we have the minority institutions, but there are a large number of that other exclusive the colleges which are not available for all the communities. Environments as I was saying, that the approach to the building, approach to the laboratory, approach to the teaching methodology, pedagogy, they are not disabled friendly or the inclusive friendly, I will say. Admission criteria, yes, we do have reservation policies, but as we are saying that there are a lot of private institutions are coming, private universities are also coming, they should also have some definite policy as far as their admission criteria is concerned, so that they become that all inclusive. Then that the vulnerable students, they are come from the various poor social and economic background, they also should get included. If the fees in the private institutions are very, very high, as you all know, that the admission criteria in some of the the national universities like Delhi University, it said that it's 100% that the cutoff and all those type of things. So that the private institutions have an opportunity, but the people can pay money. But there must be a large number of scholarships to that include them for the social inclusion. Further, that our curriculum, you see there should not be something like that, that you in an institution, if there is an the inclusion to be done, inclusion that for a social social exclusion class of the people, you should have a different classrooms, or even for the disabled friendly, you should have a different classroom. They must get included into the same classrooms. There has to be a right curriculum and examination system. There has to be a lack of appropriate teaching methodologies. There should not be a feeling of the inadequacy amongst the the people who are getting excluded. They must feel themselves that they are excluded. There must be contents available for them. It should not be a part of the rote learning methodology what they have, most of us have it in the education system. They must have a specialized tuition and coaching. Some of the IITs do that, that for the socially exclusion, that to include them into their thing. But that should be, made more popular. That is a part of the policy. And, that examination systems or the evaluation systems should get vetted properly for the differently abled people and others. So these are some of the thoughts, that as we go on into the panel discussion, and some questions will come up, I will try to answer them. So I thought that I will share with you what is my thinking about the social inclusion or the other inclusive education as far as our higher institutions of learning is concerned. Thank you very much. Thank you.